Hello students, lecture 55. In this video lecture, we'll discuss about how to protect workers in unorganized sector. Second, sectors on the basis of ownership and the areas where government's support or government's investment is needed. About those areas we'll discuss. So in today's lecture, these articles we'll discuss. So first of all, how to protect workers in an unorganized sector. This question is asked many a times, as we have seen that agriculture is the largest unorganized sector. So we need to protect the workers, means we have to ensure that workers are protected in terms of employment in agriculture sector or if any other unorganized sector. Since first point in this is since unorganized sector is scattered and rules and regulations of employment are not followed, so workers in this sector feel job insecurity. Hence, it is important to protect their working rights in this sector. Second point we can write in this question, since 1990s, it is also common to see that large workers are losing jobs in organized sector and are forced to work in unorganized sector at low wages. Hence, there is a need to protect workers in unorganized sector. In the rural areas, next point can be given as that in the rural areas, in unorganized sector, mostly comprised of agricultural and related activities. So workers are small, farmers are marginal, sharecroppers, those who share crop harvest, artisans, and nearly 80% of rural household in India are in small and marginal farmers category. So these farmers need to be supported through timely supply of farming inputs. Farming inputs, seeds, fertilizers, insecticides, pesticides, and irrigation system or canal, etc. Next point can be mentioned in this is in urban areas, unorganized sector comprises mainly of workers in small scale industries, casual workers in construction sites, trade and transport, etc. So in these areas also, workers need to be supported through enforcement of labor laws, job security, and regular work. We also find many majority of workers from SC, ST, OBC categories in unorganized sector. Besides getting low wages and irregular work, they face social discrimination as well. So protection and support to the unorganized sector in unorganized sector workers is thus necessary for both economic development and social development. So this is how. Some other factors which can be enforced, that by providing a capital that is compatible wages, that is equal to organized sector, paid leaves, transport, medical facilities, etc. And that is terminal benefits like gratuity and other areas, remuneration, the amount which is given to the worker at the time of retirement after working long years by the employer. So this is how workers can be protected and ensured that they are getting adequate wages and they may not face or feel any kind of job insecurity. So this article is very important for exam point of view. Next is the sectors on the basis of ownership. Sectors on the basis of ownership are categorized into two categories, that is public sector and private sector. Public sector are the those areas which are managed and run by government or which are under the control of government. The purpose of public sector is not just to earn profit but to provide services at low cost. To provide services at low cost. Government raise funds through taxes and other ways to meet expenses on the services provided by it. Next point can be mentioned in this, that in modern days government spend on a whole range of activity, and this is national developmental aspect. It is needed for national development. Examples of public sector are post offices, Indian Railways, banks, government schools, etc. Now private sector. In private sector, ownership of asset and delivery of goods and services are in the hands of private individuals or companies. Private sector working, second point, private sector working is guided by the motive of profit making, and people have to pay for these facilities the high cost, because whatever services are provided in the private sector are highly charged. Let it be private hospital, let it be private schools, let it be any kind of private transport. Another point is can be that examples of we can give examples of private sector are Tisco, Tata Iron and Steel Corporation, Bajaj Auto Limited, Reliance. Private schools, private hospitals are examples of private sector on the basis of ownership. Now question is asked based on sectors, what are the sectors on the basis of ownership, and compare them in terms of service, goods and services. So comparison is asked between private sector and public sector. So you have to focus on the services provided by these sectors. Next article is what are the areas or activities which require government support, means the areas in which government has to support. That is number one, that just now we have discussed the private sector. So government has to support the private sector because it may not continue its production, and most of the private sector are small and scattered. So they need government's assistance like timely loan from the banks, power supply, transportation, facilities of transportation. Here nothing is required free of cost. All these are to be charged, but at charge also they should be provided. And government must support farmers. Government also must support farmers for buying all the crop production at MSP, that is minimum support price. So it should be, although government declares MSP, yet MSP is applicable only on a few crops. So all crops are not covered under MSP. Next and last article of this chapter is some activities on which government need to spend money. Means here government not only look after, but government has to spend money, invest money. So one such area is in the area of health and environment. So that is, health and environment conditions should be healthy in a country. So government must spend on developing the infrastructure and control on pollution. Second is government must pay on running the government schools properly, and it should also be ensured that a quality education must be provided particularly in the elementary education, that is primary education. Primary education is called elementary, compulsory, necessary education, which it is every child's right to education. It is every child's right to get ancillary or elementary education. So in this area, government not only take care, but government must spend money to improve infrastructure, to improve schools, to make more schools, to provide school to each and every village. Because you might have seen till today children are walking a long distance to go to schools. Then another factor is that regarding infant mortality rate, IMR, that we discussed in earlier chapter, that is one of the developmental aspect of state comparison. So infant mortality rate in state of Odisha is 45, in MP 47. It is still higher than many of the poorest countries in the world, like Bangladesh and some other African countries. In those countries also infant mortality is less. So in Odisha 45 children die out of 1000 due to malnutrition or any other health condition. In MP 47, it is not that in other states they are not, but in other states are also cases are similar. So government must pay attention in this regard and improve the basic nutritional level for children. It is most of the deaths occur due to malnutrition or the poor or the unbalanced diet. On television, in advertisement, you might have seen many a times that some children are shown who are malnourished, those who grow 2-3 years of age, and their body weight remains very, very less to the average weight of that age child. Next is it is also the duty of the government to look after poorest and the most ignored areas, that is in the tribal areas. Tribal areas are still ignored. You won't believe we have such areas in Chota Nagpur, in Chota Udaipur. These are the tribal areas belt. In Rajasthan, Bhil tribal community. So still they do not have proper clothes to wear. Still they do not have proper house. Still they do not have proper safe drinking water. Yet they do not have a good road connectivity. So in such areas, government must spend and provide all basic amenities, because food, cloth and water are generally called roti, kapda or makan, are the basic amenities. And right to life, everyone has right to get all these things. So that's all in this video. Thank you very much. Keep on watching.